All right. Welcome to the Fireplace Show, ladies and gentlemen. Asanteni sana for tuning in. I'm your host Sanguti. It's been a while we haven't done this, but things happen. We are here with my very good friend Baroka, Mwandishi Baroka, an academician, and all those kind of things. And we are going to have an amazing conversation just about now. But in the meantime, I want to thank all of you who have been checking out our content and just appreciating what we are putting out there. Asanteni sana. Continue following us on The Fireplace Show, on Facebook, on Twitter, The Fireplace TV1. We have our content on YouTube, so please go there and check it out. We have just uploaded one of our videos on Between the Lines today, so it's pretty new. Go right there and check it out and let us know how you're feeling the conversation there, okay? Yeah, but in the meantime, a lot is happening in Trans Nzoia. Nasikia watu ni lazima waende Nairobi ndio make it. We are planning on how to execute that. Tumeishi Kitale sana bana mpaka tunaanza kumea white hair. But we haven't lost hope. We will still make it in this town. So yeah, if you continue to support us, definitely we'll get there. But in the meantime, we are here on a very, very serious conversation. Karibu sana Baroka.
Asante sana.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Yeah.
I'm doing well.
Yes.
We were together last year.
Yeah, last year, yeah.
Yeah, it's last year. It's been a while.
Hey, it's been a while.
Yeah.
Hii corona inatukipa apart.
Yeah.
Kwa lazima.
By the way, but we are thanking God that ni kama inaendelea kuisha.
Okay.
Each day, each other day
inaendelea kuisha.
I think you are vaccinated.
Yeah, definitely. I am supposed to be going for my second job, so yeah, we're working on that. Hopefully everybody else will be safe. All right, so let's get into the conversation, bro. I know you are not new to the Fireplace, but just for someone who is watching us for the first time, mpe time akujue vizuri wewe ni nani, unafanya nini?
Yeah, I go by the name Mwandishi Baroka. Na mimi ni mwandishi wa vitabu. So far I've done 2 books and another one is on the way. One is the Social Studies in a Nutshell, which is basically a academic book. And the other one is The Educated Foods.
That is fiction?
Yeah, this is fiction. And I'm doing another one, again it's academic. Let me just say it's going to be called County to County.
Okay.
But I don't give further details.
Okay.
Maybe
until it's the right time.
Yeah, it's the right time.
Okay.
So basically that is me. I graduated in Mo University sometimes back, and I'm here now pursuing what I think is the best for the society.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karibu sana to the show, bro.
Yeah.
Now, we are going to talk about environmental conservation.
Exactly.
But give us a background on why we are talking about this subject.
Yeah, we are talking about this subject because environmental conservation actually is something that it must be done. The environment is depleted so much. The climate change is now real. Like you can now see even today the rains are
it's very heavy.
Yeah, it's very heavy. We are expecting that the Ninos and the temperature are going to rise in the near future, and it's going to impact almost everybody. You know, when the climate change, everything will change. Even the fireplace is going to be affected in one way or the other. So we need to come together with some nations that will ensure this is actually stemmed or even mitigated, so that the society actually is cushioned.
We deal with climate change. Talking about climate change, there is an initiative going on right now, a Million Trees initiative at Kiptogot Forest. So if you haven't heard about that, we are working on that initiative to mobilize people to buy and plant and grow trees in Kiptogot Forest. Kiptogot Forest is one of the blocks in Mount Elgon, and most of you should be knowing that Mount Elgon is one of the water towers that we have in Kenya, one of the 5. Lucky enough, Trans Nzoia has 2 water towers, and we're trying as much as possible, mobilizing everybody to be part of the conservation effort. So yeah, and just before we get into the conversation, I'm reminding you that guys, on 9th, 10th, and 11th of October, we are in Kiptogot Forest. We're doing tree planting right there, and we are doing what you call eco drive with guys called Jumbo Charge. So if you have a car that can manage this kind of weather, matope na maji na kila kitu inside the forest, that is the fun bit of it. Kuja tupande miti na to have fun for 3 days. All right, 9th, 10th, and 11th. That was just a by the way. Let's get down into your interest of conservation, especially around flooding areas.
Yeah, actually, these areas is what I'm interested with mostly, because it has not been done the way I think it should be done. I think we need an upgrade. The way, especially flooding is trying to be mitigated in those areas. I think they are not doing the best.
How are they doing it?
You see, what they're just doing, they are building only dikes. They're building dikes, then that is it. They're not doing anything more about it. So you find that when the rain comes, sometimes even it surpasses the dikes, and again it causes flood. And the dikes actually sometimes they form what is known as reservoirs. These reservoirs are sometimes dangerous to humans, and especially the children.
Because they're not protected.
Yeah, they're not protected, and we have seen cases of drownings almost each year when we are having these floods. Children have lost lives and all those. So we think that we can come up with some other better ways of doing this. And that's why I introduced in my social studies book a topic known as terraforming floodplains areas.
Okay.
Yeah, and this terraforming is actually a word that I got from those people who are interested in actually transforming planet Mars.
Okay.
You know, in the near future, humans are going to be a spacefaring civilization. We are going to live maybe in the moon, and the best target colony is planet Mars.
Okay.
So you know, humans are going to live there, and they are going. The environment there is not suitable for humans, so they need to change it. Like Mars is, it has a lot of radiation.
Okay.
The temperatures are too cold for humans. So they need to re-engineer the
planet.
Yeah, the planet. And I think
in preparation for us to go and
yeah.
what are you saying?
Actually, it's true, and
that we are going to live in Mars. Okay.
Yeah, it look up.
So scientists are already figuring out that in the near future we will be full down here.
Yeah.
And we will have to go somewhere.
We're going to have to go somewhere, or something maybe just happen on planet Earth, and all of us get stuck. So we need to have a backup. Maybe
that is so scary, man.
It's not scary.
What?
And efforts have already been done.
Okay.
We have the Mars Perseverance rover. It's scouting there. We have the Mars Curiosity rover. The Mars Reconnaissance orbiter is doing the mapping and all those kind of activities. So they are going to change that place.
Okay.
They are going to re-engineer it and make it habitable for humans. And now this same method, we can also do it here on planet Earth.
Okay.
And especially, or in particular, in these flooding areas.
So what is the difference between dikes, building dikes as traditionally has been done, the difference between dikes and terraforming, as you call it?
Yeah, terraforming actually is an advanced method of mitigating floods in prone areas. And the way I've said it involves re-engineering the land. Like you can realize that these flooded areas, they are mostly flat. They are flat lands, and that's why when water comes, it washes people and their belongings.
Okay.
So terraforming involves re-engineering those places, building hills-like structures, constructing artificial rivers, and at the same time practicing environmental conservation. So there are many advantages of terraforming, because once you have terraformed the land, you don't need to move out. Like the way you find that a dike has been built and
it has burst.
it has burst. So people, even not burst. When they build a dike, there is something is going to be formed behind it. Water is going to be behind that place. So people are supposed to move out. But with terraforming, this area, people are not affected. It's just minimal disturbance.
Okay.
This ensures that the land is maintained. You are maybe supposed just to be told to move in this hill that has been created. Can you just shift the upper side?
Okay.
But you're not going to leave that place. So it's a better idea that I think should be actually adapted.
If I'm trying to grasp what you're saying, terraforming is changing the landscape of that place.
Yeah, exactly.
It is flat.
Yeah.
So maji ikitoka kwa mlima inatulia hapo, it displaces people,
Yeah.
but you're changing the topography of that area.
Exactly. That
How?
That's a very
So let me talk about how easy or difficult is it to implement what you're talking about as compared to just building dikes.
Yeah, you see, dikes first, they have proved they are not sufficient.
That's evident.
And every day you find that a dike has burst. You have heard it in the news. But once you have terraformed the place, you have changed the landscape of the place. It looks like an island area.
Okay.
You'll never have those cases. You'll never hear those cases again. So you find that, these things are possible. Like the county government of Trans-Nzoia, they can try a pilot program in Namanjalala. People are suffering, and they have the manpower. I've seen the caterpillars, the bulldozers. They are just lying idle there. If they can just try to do that, but now they have to come to us again.
Maybe they have no idea what you're talking about.
Yeah, if they don't have those ideas, they come to us so that we can give them. They build like that land is flat. Terraform it. It's just simple, but you need some engineering kind of mind.
You need an engineer to look at the place and advise on what exactly you need to do with it.
Exactly. Like you see the flyover here. It has been raised up, and now the vehicles are passing up. It's the same. It's almost the same thing, but now with some technicalities a little bit there. Okay. So these lands are terraformed. Hills are created. Rivers are also created, artificial rivers. And then in these hills areas, we plant trees. We plant trees and we do other necessary things that will ensure that when water is coming from above or from a highland, it doesn't stop there or it stagnates there. It finds a ways to exist. Okay. And once this land has been terraformed, you'll find that people are not supposed to go to other lands or the government now to look for them other lands. It's just a simple thing that require one step. They can do one step, then the second one, and as time goes by, you find that this whole place is going to be re-engineered, and lives are going to be improved.
Okay. Because now we are talking about changing of a particular layout of the land, and assuming that people have already subdivided the land, they have 2 acres, 1 acre, a plot of land and stuff like that, and if you're coming to do terraforming as you have described it, it might be able to tamper with the subdivisions and the pieces of land that people own. How does that then impact on the people? Because you're creating a mountain,
It's not so difficult.
What is the technicality involved in
now, let me ask you, is it better for you to have that land subdivided, or the government again chase you from that place? They tell you that now this land is not habitable. You are supposed now to leave it and maybe find a better place.
No, I'm agreeing with you that we need to do terraforming. It looks like it's a better option. Yeah, but what is it involved? What is it that we need to do to get it done? First of all, we are looking at people are already living in that particular place. So if you're going to change the physical appearance, the topography of that land, it might temporarily disturb the normal setup of that place. Okay?
Yeah.
Then we are looking at other technicalities. You're talking about bulldozers, you're talking about engineers, you're talking about planting trees and all that. So what does it entail to really make it that happen, like completely change the place?
First, the locals must actually appreciate that we have a problem.
They need to understand what you want to do.
Yeah, they need to understand. And once the topography has been changed, they just subdivide that land. Even if it is a hill, they say that you are here. Maybe you take this side of the hill, and me I take the other side. The other side of the hill. So they need to have maybe the surveyors coming in, and other government agencies that may be necessary to assist them.
To document and make sure that mwenye alikuwa na plot moja, after terraforming you get one plot.
You get one or two, depending on your size.
Okay.
So I think that is the best. That is the best. And like in Amanjadala, I don't know even if these rains will affect them today.
They are raining heavily. Tomorrow we might have a press conference down there of people moving out and stuff.
So like terraforming is actually a permanent solution for these flat and poor drainage areas. Once the land has been terraformed, they are going to have their life is going to be comfortable. It's just like living in an island area, and you'll find that practicing agriculture and building roads is going to be a little bit another infrastructure.
Let me ask you about how far have you shared this concept of terraforming, or how widespread is it? Because I'm hearing it today from you. I didn't know it existed, leave alone practiced.
Yeah, I know. I know.
So how widespread is this concept of terraforming?
Actually, terraforming, I've done it in my book, the way I've said it.
Okay.
Those who have had a copy of my book, The Social Chalice in an Ashes, there is a place at the back. I've tried to come up with it, but I've not done it, I've not shared it in other platforms apart from that book. Okay. And again, the second place now is the fireplace. Okay. But you know, you must begin.
Yeah, you must begin somewhere. You must begin somewhere. Great. Let me talk to us about the strategy that you have, the plan that you have. You have it in your book. People can read your book, and you will tell us where they can find the book at the end of the show. But in the meantime, someone can read the book, or they can listen to our conversation now. But what is the plan of what happens next? From the fireplace, where are you going? Whom are you meeting? Who do you want to talk to?
Yeah, after this, we'll be talking with some well-wishers, environmentalists, and other stakeholders. We share with them. Like, I'm expecting to meet with the European Union sometimes next month. I'll be meeting with them. So we'll be sharing with them. And maybe even if they can accept to do a pilot program of the same, so that they see how it works. I know, once something is good and people now starting to see.
People will want to really see this thing. Does it really work?
Yeah, but I know definitely it's going to work. Okay. I know definitely. If we can terraform planet Mars, what is so difficult for us
to do it here?
To do it on the planet.
Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, we are speaking to Mwandishi Baroka Kennedy, and he has mentioned he's done 3 books?
Let's say 2.
2 books for now. They are on the market, and he's working on his 3rd book. But his interest is on environmental conservation, and more specifically in flooding areas. And we are talking about a new concept called terraforming. I know you did not know about these things. So get it from here. Yeah, it's a new concept of conserving flooding areas and making sure that people do not always, every time when it's a rainy season, people have to move to the highland and then come back later. That destabilizes the progress of the people. So once we have embraced this concept, it's going to ensure that you still live at that particular place, and whenever it rains, you will not be moved, because the water will behave in a particular manner based on how it has been reconstructed and things like that. So yeah, drop a question for Kennedy Baroka, either on his works, in his books or any other question that you might be having, and we will try and sample those particular questions at the end of the show. Right? And thank you so much for coming. Share with a friend right now. Just share this video and let more people watch this conversation. So, Baroka, what I want to ask is the involvement of governments and how deep or how shallow government will be involved in this. Anything that concerns its people, obviously they will be involved, but I just don't know to what extent government will be involved, and what is the plan to make sure that government buys into this kind of idea before it even allocates resources to implement it.
Yeah, I think, you know, first, if there is a problem and you've seen the government has not done anything about it, it's not that it doesn't have the capability. It's just that it doesn't want to. Okay. Yeah, but we think that the government is going to come up in future. I know, you know, when something starts like this small, as long as it is a good idea and it's something that can assist the society, we believe that the government in the near future, once they see that the program is actually going to be better, and this program I know is better, I'm 100% sure that it's going to, especially the people of Budalangi, the Kano Plains, and these people living almost around like Victoria regions and even Mombasa. And by the way, with the climate change, do you know that in the near future, let's give it a decade, if this climate, people are not going to conserve it, Mombasa, the county of Mombasa and these areas along the coast, they are going to be submerged. And the only solution is terraforming. It's terraforming, changing the topography of the land, making the land look a bit hilly, so that when the rains comes or the water increases,
the water level rises.
These people are going to be
because
safe.
We are seeing it happening in is it Nandi or Baringo?
Yeah,
Baringo,
yeah, Baringo.
It's a very classic example of what you're talking about.
And the solution for Baringo is terraforming. There is no any other solution. Building dikes won't help. They need to change the topography of the land, create hills, create artificial rivers, so that those areas are not going to be affected with water. If you have read, you have realized that the poles of the earth, the North Pole and South Pole, you find that those ice, they are melting. And where do you think this water will go?
It has to find it in the lakes,
in the lakes and the oceans. This means that the oceans are going to have their water levels up.
Wow.
So we need to do something. It's research that we have carried out, and we know these things are coming. So we need to prepare ourselves. Instead of putting a lot of resources on planet Mars and the moon, let us do it on the Earth first.
Recently, I was in Lake Turkana, and the conversation. Of course, they are not looking at it from that perspective, from that academic and scientific perspective. For them, it's just like, hii bahari ilikuwa pale.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, like a few years, your bahari ilikuwa pale, but now it's here.
But now it's here.
And they don't know why.
They don't know why.
For them, they have no idea why the bahari came from there and it's now here.
It's now
and
here.
It looks like it's not stopping there.
Yeah,
it's
not stopping.
Yeah, so whatever you're mentioning, I think it's very important. And yeah, I'm glad we're having this conversation. Yeah. Let me speak to this aspect of sensitization, because again, the fireplace can only be able to access so much people. Yeah. What is your plan, or if you're working with any other person or organization, to be able to help the masses understand what you're talking about? Because we have people in this earth of ours who just thinks that rains come from the sky and not from the trees. You know, we have a lot of ignorance that we need to deal with, even when we introduce new concepts like what you're talking about.
Yeah, actually, thank God that with the internet and social media platform, we are having a bit of space to share what we have, but we're not getting enough space yet.
Okay.
We will continue talking with the local radios, televisions, and the local media channel, and those who will accept us, those who think that we are doing the best for society and accommodate us. We think we will go far with that.
Okay.
Yeah, but we don't have that muscles, especially money. Actually good. This one require concerted effort.
Yes.
Like the Fireplace for giving us this platform. This is the first step.
Yeah. And I think this is a concept that I'm personally committing myself to follow up, because I think being an environmentalist and being a person who is passionate about tourism affairs and tourism and environment are one and the same. Because tourism is directly benefiting on the environment. You know, if the environment doesn't flourish, we are done. Yeah, so this is a concept that I would want to follow up, and also I think I'll follow up with you to just get more details of the research and stuff like that.
And
so
we have the technical aspect of it, but we cannot share it here.
Of course.
If any person
the basics.
the basic of how it's going actually to be done, so that they must come to us, and that is a copyright. We cannot just.
No. But I'll just get the details of what you're talking about. That the local auntie or uncle in the village can consume and understand why the river is becoming having more water. Why is the lake growing bigger?
Where is the water coming from?
Yeah, where is the water coming from? So that kind of question needs to be answered. And then connect the melting ice in the south and northern pole to why we need to plant trees. You know, because if you don't connect those concepts, and you know they're connected. If we continue to cut the trees, carbon continues to go high, there's heat, it melts the ice, it's a whole circle. So this is something that I think we need to give it more airtime and just help people, because it's the old man in the village who has authority whether to cut a tree or to plant. You know, those custodians that we have. And if they don't understand these things, it will be futile to talk to them on TV and nothing happens in the grassroots, you know. So I think that's, thank you for coming to the show, bro. Thank you for coming to the show.
And one thing that there's a conference that is being organized, I don't know, it's in Eldoret, about environment. I think next month is an environment something day. I
saw something like that on social media. I'll check it out.
Yeah, but the organizers actually, I don't think if they're getting the right people to attend those forums, they need to update
the inventory of attendees.
But if they're going to take people who have the mind of the 19th century, this is 21st, 22nd century now. Yeah,
it's true. I will add you in one of the WhatsApp groups that we have on environment, because then we have quite a number of stakeholders that are very passionate about environmental conservation. And therefore, if we start such a conversation in such a place, and we have majority of them buying into it, then we have a higher chance of, multiplying it wherever they are going. You know, we have the county leaders and stuff like that. So let's start from there. And of course, on the Fireplace, all the time, if you want to come again and talk about something entirely different, this is your place.
Exactly.
Yeah. You have anything else you want to say before we wrap up this very important conversation?
Actually, there is more, but I usually do more in books.
Tell us where to find your books.
Actually,
how people can find you and how people can find your materials.
Actually, I'm in all social media platforms, Facebook, Instagram, but I'm more vibrant in Facebook and WhatsApp. But in any other social media handle, you can find me, Kennedy Baroka, Mwandishi Baroka. I'm there. My book's actually delayed. I was supposed actually to take to schools last year, but Corona closed schools, so we delayed. But I'm taking it back to schools. I've talked with the county directors, the KICD people. The books are going to be in schools. I've also talked with in conservation with the KTS supermarket.
So they can stock your books.
If they can stock my book, and I'm glad that they are having chains still in Nairobi. So you'll also get my book in KTS,
Okay.
Bethany Bookshop,
Okay.
Lisa Pepper. We are just finalizing the final agreements,
Okay.
and then we are going to be on this on their
Okay.
shelves.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Wow, that's
that
good.
is it. And also order your book online. You will always get it anywhere on the planet.
Follow him on social media. Wacha tuanzie hapo. Kennedy Baroka on social media platforms. Inbox him that you want a book, then he'll pick up that conversation and see how your book can be delivered.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah, and the book is very cheap, 750.
750 only.
Yeah, and that book is a general, though it's, the way I said it's children-centric, but it's palatable to all general public palate.
Okay.
Anybody can read it. You can read about something about environment, about counties. There is always something there for you that you can consume.
All right.
Yeah, and don't say that you can get this information in the internet. On the internet, you cannot. It's only on that book.
That is the reason why you wrote the book, because
Yeah.
you had something different than what is on the internet. Mtu mwenye alidanganya watu at internet has all answers.
No,
That person needs to be arrested.
Yeah. And maybe in future you will get it in Amazon. And I'm actually trying to look away where people can get this book all across the world.
Globally.
I'm trying to talk with the Amazon people, locating the office. I'm told they are in Nairobi, but those are future plans. Right now, just get my book, KTS, and
or inbox.
Yeah, inbox.
Then you do deliveries live.
Yeah, we do.
Mtu akikuwa Mombasa unamwekea kwa basi,
Inafika.
inafika. All right, so that is it. Thank you so much, my brother, for coming, and thank you so much, you, our viewer, wherever you are, for joining us in this particular conversation. I am very excited that we are having such a brilliant young person doing such an amazing job, because at the end of the day, we are the kind of people who are changing this universe, I tell you. We have issues that we are dealing with as society. We have the solutions to these issues. And that is the reason why the Fireplace is here, to just bring conversations that make sense, make sense, that touch on the real issues that you're dealing with as a person. So until next time, we want to wish you all the very best. Continue interacting with us, and we'll see you next time. Bye-bye.